Join us here on Divine Oracle Podcast for the month of December. Merry Christmas, and sit back and enjoy this past episode of Divine Oracle Podcast.
And good day, everybody, and how are we all doing today?
With your host, Gypsy Lady Eva and Brother Chris, we have a great guest tonight, Psychic Sally Diane, which is good friends of Gypsy Lady Eva and my cousin.
Eva and I go back a long way. We used to, I think that in our early days as readers, as readers to other people, because that's kind of a different level.
Yeah.
But we used to, every Saturday morning, we'd get together and we'd read each other. And
we have a good laugh.
Remember that? We finally had to say, that's it. When you read me, I won't look at your cards. And when I read you, you can't look at my cards.
We would lay each other, as we do a reading, we would lay the cards out. And then we'd be looking at no, that one was it, and it's kind of like, who's doing the reading here?
Yeah. And we used to we'd go to the Church of Man, which Eva introduced me to, and that was in Royal Oak, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And we'd go to the Sunday night churches sometimes, and we also attend the Tuesday night channeling circles.
Okay.
Yes.
I just loved, you just get there, and once the energy went up, and you could tell that we're all kind of on the same alpha plane, then the channels would start coming through. Yeah. And it was so cool.
It really was.
It was amazing. And
some of the stuff that came through was just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, because you had Karnak, right? No. Katar.
Katar, yes.
Yes, Katar.
Yes, Katar was quite. Well, she wasn't the he, she, it. We never really did decide. Katar had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And that was
a very long neck.
Yes.
I remember that.
So.
And
is Katar a giraffe?
I always thought of Katar as a lion. I don't know why. But we did have a lot of good psychic introspection and fun. And the people that were involved were fantastic. They learned a lot. Yeah. And it was together. Yes.
You took me to my first show, and it was a show in Detroit, and I don't even remember what hotel it was at. But it was for charity. I remember that because we all had like a little table, and we all did readings for $10 each, and we donated that, which that was a lot of fun. It was a good way to be introduced. Of course, it wasn't as intense as the psychic fairs I started to do once I was in Canada. You also got me into doing the house parties. I started doing readings out of my home, and I started doing the house parties, which I'm glad I quit doing those. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, those are awful.
Well, you never know what you brought home with you. But they too were, there was a certain element of fun. And like you say, we go back a long way.
Yeah. Because when I moved to Canada in the early 90s, it's like you were at my wedding, you caught the bouquet.
Yeah, well, that was how far that went.
Well, you did get the ring in the dress, but
yeah. So I have a question. Actually, this is actually from one of our viewers. Who is a Katar? So
Katar was an entity that I channeled, and she continued. I continue with her for a long time. I have not done a Katar session. I don't know, since I moved out to the farm. But she was an entity that came through during the channeling, and when I finally opened up to her, it's like the information couldn't stop. It just constantly. And I do not know if she was he, she, it. We never, like I say, we never really decided or were able to pin it down. But Katar also was very giving, very loving, and would impart tons of information. And they were really very interesting.
Yeah, you and Lynn came up with, what was it, Lynn, that you used to do the channel sessions with? Remember that? And you had little books about the Katar sessions?
No, I don't. I'll be honest with you.
I don't know whether I have the name right there.
No, that was Trudy.
Trudy. Yeah, and you had these books. You had a number of them of just Katar's ramblings or whatever, and it was they were blue covered books.
Yeah, I don't have any of those. I do not know what happened to them.
Oh my goodness.
I have lost touch with Trudy, so I don't know if all those tapes were destroyed or what. I have no clue.
Oh my goodness, but that was a long time ago.
Yes.
Because after that, our careers took very different paths.
Yes.
Because you got involved with some paranormal investigators.
Yes.
And I got involved with the psychic fair circuit in Canada, and eventually opened up a store, the Mystic Rendezvous. And I don't know whether you had established a group or whether you became a member, but there was a group that you were a part of during
the Y Files.
Yeah, because we got back in touch. We found each other on social media.
Yes.
And once we found each other on social media and caught up, we discovered that we were just like in the same industry, but on two very different roads.
Yes.
And it still took a while before we got back together, because when we got back together, it was when I was on disability in the late 2000 aughts.
Yes. And I did go to your other wedding too.
Yes, you did.
But I did not catch the bouquet.
No, Lori did. My friend Lori did. She got a ring too.
So.
But it was nice to have you there. It was nice.
It was a delight.
Oh yeah, it was great to take you to a Stratford show. We saw the Little Shop of Horrors. Was that ever?
Yes,
fun?
we did.
Oh,
yes.
That was good.
So like I know
Chris is just sitting there, kind of like, okay.
I'm like, boom. So Sally knows me quite well, especially actually off camera. But yeah, no. So the other question though is, the person's wondering though, was the Katar a female? Do you know at all, or?
Most often she related to me as female, but I think Sally saw it more as a male entity. Like I said twice now, we never really were able to establish female, male, or whatever. I think it was just Katar was Katar.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because Katar showed himself, herself, their self. There, that's the right way. Their self, during one of the channeling sessions.
Yeah.
Just kind of looked over at me and smiled, and you were on his lap, and then just went back to it.
It's like I said.
Yes.
It was just kind of like a little wink.
Hi there.
Yeah, I see you.
So Sally, when do you do shows, and how can people get a hold of you?
Okay, now our shows are every Sunday night on YouTube. Every Sunday night on YouTube, I go live on the Psychic Sally YouTube channel, and the name of the show is Psychic Sundays Live. But just subscribe to the Psychic Sally Diane YouTube channel, and then 9:00 Sunday night, just go to your subscriptions and then click live, and you'll be right there. I do take questions in the chat, so there is free readings for everybody. It's 9 to 10 o'clock, and I also do a pick 3 for the week.
Yeah. And we here actually at Divine Oracle Podcast, we do tune in quite a bit. We do actually send out some questions actually to Sally. Eva does pop in. Gypsy Lady Eva does pop in once in a while. It's worth turning out. And Sally has been actually underneath Haunted Live podcast show in the past. So if you guys want to be,
we've done some seances. We've done a few seances.
Yeah. So if you guys want to be able to catch actually Sally's interview underneath Haunted Live podcast, go right ahead. It's underneath YouTube. So tonight, what we're going to be doing we're going to be talking about Christmas. Christmas time though is usually really hard at this time of year because a lot of people are going through actually a lot of depression. But there's a lot of memories though that we do actually hold within our childhood. Or stuff though that has actually happened recently though that we might have watched something and what it hit us exactly of hey, this is what the meaning is whatsoever. Since we're all spiritual mediums here, we're here tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to type in. If you want your readings done, we're here to do readings tonight. So anyway, so it's before we went live, before Sally came actually on, Eva and I, we were chit-chatting. I was saying to Sally a couple nights ago, I was watching Dolly Parton's Christmas. And that's one of her new ones. And this was taking place actually at her theme park. Now, there's one song, though, that popped on, and it was called Family, and it really hit me hard, especially of what I'm going through right now. So, anything that you guys want to say? Floor's wide open for you guys.
About Christmas memories?
Yep.
Oh, well, because I was thinking about that all day. And I've got to say, one of my favorite childhood memories, and it's kind of an amalgamated memory. My dad had 6 sisters, and all 6 of them had rather nice homes at different parts of the Detroit suburbs. So every Christmas Eve, Dad would load up the car with all of us kids, and we would take the hour-and-a-half drive to one of his sister's homes, one of my aunt's homes, and it was so opulent and so over the top. And every one of my aunts would go to Spencer Gifts or whatever, and they get little gifts, like stationery sets and stuff like that. Just little. The idea wasn't that was anything big. It was that the idea was a gift, and they'd walk around with these big baskets full of little gifts and just invite everybody to take one. And it was, that was like over the top, especially for a little kid. So I looked forward to that. Every Christmas, it was like going to this magical party. And the last one I went to, the next to last one I went to, was actually when my son was, he was a little over a year old. And he was in his little, he was about a year and a half old actually. And he was in this, his little rompers, right? And he was going all over the place, and he discovered pop. Okay. And so he grabbed glasses and he'd drink it because it had, this good tasting stuff in it. And I'm chasing after him, trying to get him to stop. And he grabs one that has a cocktail in it. And it was so funny because he takes it and just spits it out everywhere.
Gosh. So, what about for you, Eva?
Well, the one Christmas memory that continually pops up is the midnight mass. We would go, it was kind of a family tradition. We would go to midnight mass, which meant we got all dressed up, and of course you're cold because it's winter, but okay. And of course at that time slacks were not allowed on women because that's just, no, you get dressed up in a dress. We would go to midnight mass. And when we came home from mass, we would have ham sandwiches and a dessert called Nussestrudel, which is a nut roll, very German type sort of thing. And that's the one memory that stays so with me, because they don't do midnight masses anymore around here. They're just like 6 o'clock or even 8 o'clock in the evening, and that's it. But the other thing that kind of stuck in my mind is we would have Christmas in the morning at our house because we lived right next door to my grandmother. they would come over and we would open gifts and have fun. And this was from Santa, and it was just a lot of good stuff. And then we get to go to Grandma's for more gifts because Santa was there too. Can you imagine? How did that happen? And so we had actually 2 Christmases, and it was always good.
Yeah.
Always good. And if we didn't get it at our house, we got it at Grandma's house.
Yeah. So I have a question here, and this is coming from Cheryl. Cheryl would love to get a reading done from all 3 of us. So she's looking for a general reading, I presume. So if we have our cards, or even if Sally's got her runes, for people that
Runes. R-U-N-E-S. Runes.
Okay.
Rhymes with tunes.
All right. So yeah, Sally right now though, since she did damage to her hand, that's what she's using, and that's what she's
Yes,
using.
because she can do runes one hand. And you just want a general reading, Cheryl?
That's what she's got down. General reading.
Okay, so anybody who watches my show knows that I don't have time enough to do a general reading for you. So I'm going to ask my guides what you need to know most at this time, Cheryl. Okay?
All right.
And
so
down.
So basically, though, her great aunt actually passed away Christmas Day in 1970. She's wondering though is if there's anything coming from her aunt, from her great aunt.
Okay, so that's a different question.
Yep.
Okay, so I asked what you need to know most, and you talked about your aunt dying, and that might have something to do with this. Your runic reading starts out with Isa, and Isa is ice, and ice is, in this case, it feels like blockages in that because you have right next to it you have Lagos, which is lake, and that means love. And so whatever's blocking you at this time is also blocking you expressing love. And after that, you have Manas. And Manas is known as a hug rune, but you see it reversed. And so that just goes right back to that whole thing about you because you're letting this block your happiness and your love. Okay? You put this kind of connotation on Christmas, I think. And I'm just assuming that it's from your aunt's death. It could be from something else. But for some reason, the runes think you're being a bit of a Grinch, and you need to open up some. And you need to be more open to love. Some of the underlying factors, you have Gebu and Kinaz, which is gift and torch. And so what that tells me, and these were these are lesser influence, they're expressing the relationships around you and talks about them. The fire coming in is them becoming more energized, and that being a great surprise. So that gets back to that first point. You need to open up and make yourself open to the experiences and open to love. I think you're a lot more well-liked than you I think you're a lot more well-liked than you perceive. All right. And then the final rune is Algiz. And if you're a child of the 70s, which most of you are not, this would look, if I had held it upside down, you'd see the idea of the peace sign. But it's still a symbol of heavenly blessings. So you can open up, you can trust, you can let down those walls and quit shutting people down out of your life. That's going to be the greatest blessing to you. And I haven't answered your question about your aunt, but I'm just going to let Chris and Eva take that. I think I've taken the floor too much anyway.
That's all right. No, that's why we're always here. Eva.
Okay, I did the little 3-card thing, and it's very interesting because they're all major arcana. First one is the star. Second one is the sun. And I really wish the next one would be the moon, but it's not.
Me too.
It's the chariot. Excuse me. And my first thought was, very significant, because my thing is, as a general reading, and it's kind of extending out for the first 3 months, is the fact that there's going to be some big changes that are coming your way, and you are not quite prepared for them, hence the Chariot. But when I look at the star and the sun, I want to say, yes, there are some big changes coming your way. They're not going to be the changes that you were looking for, because as the saying goes, there's nothing new under the sun, but you have to let them come to you, hence the Chariot. And don't push it. You have a tendency to push things. You want something, you go and you push and you push and push, and then if you don't get, you're disappointed, or if you get not exactly what you want, you're disappointed. So let them come to you rather than you go to them. There will be times when it can be that way, but like I say, the Chariot is telling me, let them come to you, and they will come to you. Things will come to you. They're going to come. There's going to be some rather interesting changes in the next 3 months that are going to be completely out of left field. And now I'm pulling the fourth card. Oh, that's interesting. Again, I get a major arcana, but I get the Devil. And the Devil is interesting because, first of all, I do not believe it is a sign of evil. What I believe is the Devil is telling you you're going to have to change from within rather than without. Or let it come, you change on the inside and you work out rather than the opposite. And you have a tendency, like Sally says, because of what I'm seeing with the other cards, you do have a tendency to block things, especially if they don't go exactly as you pictured it. I'm not saying that they don't go your way. I'm just saying you think this is the path it has to take, and it decides to diverge, and you get very, very upset about that. Don't let it happen. But I am seeing, because I am seeing the sun, the star, the Chariot, and even death, I am seeing lots of good things coming your way. And I think you will not have to worry about some of the stuff you're worrying about. And as a message, I'm not getting anything in the way from your aunt. But that's just because right now, as Chris said, both of us have been under the weather, and sometimes it just doesn't gel the way it should. So I'm sorry, I'm not picking up anything right now. But she's there, and she's watching you. Don't worry.
Okay, all right.
Your turn.
So what I got those, actually I'm using the Animal Oracle cards tonight, Cheryl. So the first one though is the Coyote one here. And this one here is actually the Wise Fool. The next one I got though, which is actually the Whale, which is actually the Soul Path. The next one after that though I got was actually the Lizard. Right, and this is Dream Time. So within the first one, the Coyote though is basically accept your fools, like your fools, and you will find the teaching within inside them. So basically though is anything though that has been brought forward to you within the spiritual path though that you're leading, and also doing though, it is coming to you. So you are going to be able to learn even what your aunt has actually been taught you years ago. All right, you're sort of following that path, so the way everything's coming forward, actually altogether. She's quite happy though that you're actually doing that. The soul path one again though is honor your soul purpose. Okay, so right there, which is actually honor your soul purpose. That one there is basically those you have to more or less honor actually again those your soul purpose. Why you're here, what you're actually meant to be able to do. Sally has actually hit on some good stuff about your soul purpose. Now the thing though is, look in the mirror. Always say 10 things positive about yourself. Never look in the mirror and say 10 things negative. Always look at yourself in the positive view. All right. The last one though was the Lizard, and this is Dream Time. All right. Whenever we actually basically look actually at certain things, so we'll actually go sort of into a meditation stage without realizing it. But this one here is actually saying pay attention to your pay attention to your dreams and visions. So yeah, whenever you're going actually into that trance state, though, is actually pay attention directly to what the messages are coming to you. Your aunt is actually there with you. She's actually helping you out lately with actually your spiritual path. So that's what I've got for you. So yeah. So again, those we're looking at actually at Christmas past. One thing that I remember from a child, though, for myself, is we used to go next door to our German neighbors, and they used to celebrate Christmas the day before. Now, the one year, though, unfortunately, my mother, the old rate when she was a lot more healthier and a lot more younger, she went next door, and their son, he must have been actually in his 30s, still living at home, but he picked up my mom, and actually around the Christmas tree had the candles at the time. Now, what had happened, though, is he put her down, but she fell into the tree, and the trees with the lit candles, right, sort of caught the tree actually on fire. That's one thing I remember. So yeah, especially spending a German Christmas is really good, though, because you get to spend different times with different people, especially with different cultures. Right? Instead of living actually one life altogether and learning what one culture is, learn with different cultures around there. Now, Sally, I know that you live in Stratford, Ontario.
Yes, I do.
Right? Stratford is busy all year round, not with the festival. Sorry for saying that awful word. But
an awful word.
But have you gone down to the lights, though?
Oh, we've done some of them. They have they always have something new with the lights of Stratford, and so they do have the lights all over the place. It's just beautiful. I think people should come and take the drive around Stratford. Make sure you go past City Hall, because they have like this huge dandelion thing in lights that it's beautiful. The lights change on it and everything's just pretty. All of it's very pretty. And of course, Stratford is a Victorian-ish town. So yeah, it's very pretty through Christmas. I totally enjoy it. I'm actually I think this is the first year where I've been ready for Christmas before Christmas.
Yeah. Even with your little village, you've been ready?
Well, the village is coming together tonight. And there's
go ahead.
There's just one. All I need is the lights. Yeah, I know I have enough to do a village for the whole room, but I'm just doing the one. And of course, I actually have a glass village that stays up year round in my china cabinet.
Okay, all right. And what about for you, Eva? Any lights around your area?
Yes, there is a. Excuse me. I don't know if are those lights still up, Mom?
Huh?
On Galbraith, not Galbraith.
Germania Road?
Germania.
I think so.
Yes, on Germania Road, which is about 5 miles from here, and it is an extravagant light display, and it's done to music, so that there's this bounciness, and every year it gets bigger. They add to it every year, and it's just spectacular. And other than that, different cities.
That too.
Oh, and I was informed that there was one in Peck, which is down the road a little. And again, it's they are quite.
It wasn't ever elaborate.
They are elaborate. Yes, that would be.
Do you remember George Shammy's light show in Farmington Hills?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God. Oh dear, he must have paid thousands. He had to have a quarter of an acre of Christmas decorations if he had a single light. And
well, that's like the one on Germania Road, which I know people don't understand here, but it covers at least. It started out just the front yard, and I would say now it's probably as big as a half acre. But this is out in the middle of nowhere, so
Yeah.
he's got.
So it really stands out.
That's like so. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the lights as you're approaching, the glow above this in the sky.
Oh, you live near... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You live near Kitchener, Chris, so you must have the Victoria Park must be alive right now.
Unfortunately, we have not driven through during those, but I know Waterloo Park though is a lot more bigger than Victoria Park. I know that they've actually made the news for the Waterloo Park one, but yeah, unfortunately with our patio, since we're sort of facing that way, we can't see those lights there. All we can see those is the street lights. We're 12 stories up, but a couple streets down. Not tonight, but if it's a good night though, we can actually be able to see the lights a little bit better. So Santa Claus. Let's talk about that jolly old big guy, Santa Claus.
Well, first of all, you do know Santa Claus, as we see him now, actually got started with a Coca-Cola advertisement.
Before Coca-Cola, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So most people only know that Santa Claus, it started with Coca-Cola, but it started actually with the normal department store. But Coca-Cola actually made Santa Claus a lot bigger than what he is now.
Yeah, you mean Montgomery Ward's?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Sally kind of knows about that, so I'll let Sally sort of mention about that.
Oh, that's all I know is that it started out as an advertisement, and that's just a depiction.
Yeah.
Because even before that, there was a St. Nicholas. There were other kind of, myths and everything. It's just as far as the look.
Yeah.
And so between Montgomery Ward's and Coca-Cola, because the Coca-Cola Santa really capped it. I mean, everybody liked him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because you had the description of him in The Night Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was jolly and plumper, right? He was chubby and plumper, a jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself, blah, 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 blah.
So yeah, because again, most people only know Santa Claus technically actually as Coca-Cola. So nothing to feel bad about.
There's the French have Père Noël.
And the Norwegians actually believe that Santa Claus does come in. He is a elf that does play tricks actually on people.
And actually, the Christmas one in the Norwegian, Scandinavian area is Santa Lucia or Saint Lucia, with the crown of candles.
Yeah.
And Germany has
Krampus.
yes. All of a sudden, I drew a complete blank. Krampus, who can leave coal if you've been a bad boy or girl.
Yeah, and the legend about him though is that he does steal the souls. Actually,
yes, he does.
No, he just steals the kids. Period.
Some of us,
if you read the fairy tales, the way they were told back in Europe, oh my God, they really meant to give them. They really meant to give these kids nightmares.
Yeah.
Well, Grimm's fairy tales. Oh my God, you read some of those. Oh my. Like, the one that always got me was Cinderella, where they actually chopped off part of their foot so they could get their foot into the glass slipper.
It's like, gosh, that's painful.
It's like, no, that's not a fairy tale.
Yeah. So
that's something entirely different.
My earliest memories actually of Santa Claus was watching actually A Christmas Story with Ralphie actually in it. His father.
Oh my goodness!
His father actually got
Have you seen the new one?
No, I've not seen the new one yet.
Which one? That's The Christmas Story Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Ralphie still looks like Ralphie.
Yeah.
Growing up, you wouldn't mistake him for anybody else.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I remember that Santa Claus actually when Ralphie actually freezes and turns around and says, "Yeah, I'll take the I think it was a football," and all of a sudden he realizes no, so he starts climbing back up that sled, and he turns around and says, "No, I want the Red Ryder BB gun." Explains it, and Santa shoves his foot and says, "No, sorry, but you'll shoot your eye out."
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
That's my earliest memories actually of Santa Claus watching that.
And he actually did shoot his eye.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that is such a great movie.
Yeah.
They played it and then they played the Christmas one where he goes back home.
Yeah,
That's a good one. You must watch that
it
one.
is. It really is. It's a perfect sequel. It's the same story, only different.
Okay.
Yes,
I saw
because
this. Go ahead.
because even in the new one, you remember the two bullies that were in the original story?
Yeah.
Well, the one children are also bullies, but the one bully, the Scott Farkas, or the one with the yellow eyes, grew up to be a cop, and he took a turn for the better. But his kids are bullies, and they got what was coming to them, and he was happy about that. They deserved it.
I've only caught like little clips of that, but I haven't seen the full thing. I know.
Oh, you must see it.
I know his kids actually deserve it, especially they're going around on this snowmobile, and I don't know if it was Ralphie or his kids do up a tree stump, actually as a
Yes.
snowman. So yeah, it's like gosh.
Yes, it was the kids that did it.
Okay. Right.
I have seen the Christmas Story many times, and it's still just as delightful. I was just trying to think if there was any that we really watched, or that we watched when I was a kid, and I can't think of any right offhand other than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah. Rudolph. Yeah.
Well, there's
It's a
Miracle.
Wonderful Life.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Miracle actually on 34th Street.
Watch the Christmas Story because that was Dad's favorite.
Yeah,
Because,
it was my dad's favorite.
Yeah.
because the display was the Higbee's Higbee store in Cleveland.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
In the movie, the Higbee's store that they go in, where he sees the Red Rider, is actually the Higbee's in Cleveland, Ohio, where many of these scenes were shot. And my dad knew that.
Public Square.
And my father was from Cleveland originally.
Yeah.
So it's a very special one to him. It was a very special one to him.
Yep. So for people that don't know, Sally, over so many years, she's been collecting actually homes. She usually does up her apartment. I'm gonna say apartment, but it's not an apartment. It's actually a house. She does up her house with these little homes, and it's really beautiful. It's great how she does it. She lights them up and everything else. How many years have you been collecting those?
I think the 16, 17 years now. I have quite the collection, and I can do it as I want. But now that space is limited, and we're kind of getting ready to, we're getting ready to get a house.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to, we've kind of packed things away for good. But anyhow, I'm making a short story long. But yeah, I'd set up quite a few scenes. I have one building that says Inn on it, right? And I always like to put that one on a hill, and right at the foot of the hill, under the inn, I've got this big landscape kind of ornament. It's a Christmas bag with toys and sleeping elves all over it, and I put that up just outside the inn, so it looks like they're all passed out.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, just because I'm a little twisted that way.
Okay, we talked about music. We've talked about several different things.
Yeah.
What about your favorite Christmas carol?
Yeah. Thanks very much. Yeah. So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So my favorite Christmas one is basically growing up. Though it's like a gospel song, but I'm gonna say it was Away in the Manger growing up. But nowadays, though, it's an indigenous song, and it's about Santa Claus getting stuck actually in a teepee smoke hole.
Ooh. Have to look for that one.
Great. You can find that one actually on YouTube. It is hilarious. It explains about the grandparents and everything else actually skinning the sled. The grandma is actually cooking up the stew from the reindeer and all this and that. It is hilarious. So again, though, that one there is actually Santa got stuck actually in the smoke hole.
Ah,
So yeah. All right.
I think that mine. Excuse me, I'm due for a puffery. Sorry, you guys. But I think mine is "O Little Town of Bethlehem."
All right.
I don't know why. I mean, there's nothing special about the song. I just like it.
Yeah. And Eva, yourself.
well, growing up, one of my favorites was the first Noel. The melody, everything. And then I heard one, and it's Ukrainian,
Yeah.
called Carol of the Bells. Sing silver bells, sing silver. Anyway, that one has been my favorite, and I have a new one. Last year I went through and starting with the first Sunday of Advent right through till Epiphany, I put a song up that kind of exemplified the ideas that were going on that day. And I discovered one called A Spaceman Came A-Traveling. And it's very haunting, and it tells puts a different spin on the whole Christmas story. And yes, it is a little bit science fiction-y, but then that's me.
Yeah.
So that's my latest one, but Carol of the Bells, I just love that.
So we do have a message here, and this is actually coming back from Cheryl. So Cheryl said basically that was watching up from actually as a childhood. Her favorite Christmas actually special was with Red Skeleton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for people that don't know who Red Skeleton was, he was a well-known comedian guy.
He had a variety show.
Yeah.
He was an absolutely awesome mime. He had a lot of characters that everybody liked, like Freddie the Freeloader,
Clem Cadiddle Hopper.
Clem Cadiddle Hopper.
Yeah.
He just yeah.
So yeah. And one thing that I remember about actually Red Skeleton though is frogs. Okay, I'm not going to say any more, but if you guys aren't sure exactly who Red Skeleton is, look him up. Watch it. He's an old classic.
Well worth it.
He's an old classic guy, and like what Eva said, though, he's worth it, though. So yeah. So I was given a message tonight. I'm not going to say who it is at all. It's somebody though that Trevor, the host of Haunted Live podcast, and a lot of people that actually know this person. He's not doing well. Normally we don't do any hospital readings at all, but we're going to do a quick hospital reading for this gentleman. People know him quite well. He's a split image actually as Robert Williams, right when Robert Williams walked here actually on Earth. So again, we're going to do a quick reading though. He's not doing well at all. We're going to just see exactly how things are going to work out for him, and just go from there. Eva kind of knows exactly what the thing is. I know Sally, unfortunately, you don't. But yeah, we're going to.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with this person.
No.
So I'm not going to.
You would.
I have no connection though.
Yeah. So again, though, Sally would know the person if the person was able to come one year to Stratford for one of our workshops that we did lead actually at the Queen's Inn. But yeah, we're just going to do a quick little reading. So yeah.
Excuse me.
So, all right. So if you guys are ready, go right ahead.
I'm not sure, but one of the things I keep picking up is that he is going to show signs of coming out of it. But I don't like to say this, but that's only temporary. And that's about it that I'm picking up. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So yeah, no.
I know what's
It's sometimes the messages do come to us, sometimes they don't.
I'm just trying to see if I can pick up more.
Yeah.
And I'm just not picking up anything right now. I'm sorry, no.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I know. For myself though, a couple days before I got the message, so I was actually trying to tap into them, and I was getting nothing at all. So, but anyway, so I got some cards. So the first one though is Raven Magic, and this one here is Own Your Own Power. All right. So his power is actually basically well known within stage and everything else. I'm not saying who the person is. Next one though is Horse Freedom. You always have the choice. So basically, though, he always has the choice of where he's going. And then the last one is Koala, and this one here is Empath. Speak less and listen more. Is what also I've got. So yes. All right, so that's what I have. Can't say anything else, but yeah, it is confidential, kind of confidential. But I can't mention the name. I can't mention what city or anything like that, or where the person's from. But yeah. So again, though, we do say thank you very much, Sally, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Always
It's
great
been
to have you.
fun.
Yep. And how can
Can I do a little plug?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, tune in to Psychic Sundays Live at 9 o'clock Sunday nights on the Psychic Sally Diane YouTube channel. And this episode, I will be reading $20 Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I love that one.
oh yeah,
Here.
yeah. And I haven't talked to the producer yet. We're either going to plug it in at the front of the show or the back of the show.
Yeah. And it is a good story of what Sally is going to sort of read about, and yeah, so at time of Christmas, so it doesn't matter exactly how much things are, but again, those be there for family, especially loved ones. Only thing I have to say for closing though is, if you know somebody living on the street, reach out your hand, show them support, show them some love. All right, they're just like us. We all need love. So, yeah. No, not the song, Eva.
Sorry. No, I was thinking of another song, Brother Loves Traveling Salvation Show by Neil Diamond.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And there's one place where he speaks, if you see your brother, reach out your hand because that's what it's there for. That has always stuck with me. Reach out that hand because that's what it's there for. And then reach out to God because that's what He's there for.
Yeah.
He or she is all right.
So, but yeah, no, again, we do say thanks so much for the Queen of Booga Booga / Sally Diane.
You're welcome.
Sally Diane for being actually on.
Thank you.
Take part of actually her show. Even if you're not sure exactly what to ask, again, though, just watch it and be able to do actually see what people are actually kind of asking. Cheryl does say Merry Christmas and to all of us. So, but yeah. All right, so Sally will be getting actually a copy of the show. And again, though, if you guys have any questions or whatever, feel free to get in contact with us. We would love to hear from you. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Have a great Christmas and enjoy the day. Bye.